First of all, if you're a black man and you coming from America, so you're considered to be a black American, you're put on a very, very high pedestal.
All right, Fundamental Forces. Here with Ryan Small. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Can you hear me now? Am I loud enough?
Yeah. First of all, where are you from?
Originally, Jersey. Jersey is home. Tinton Falls, Jersey, that's the shore if you don't know. Yeah, man, born in Jersey, raised around the world.
No doubt, no doubt. Where you reside now?
Saloon, Mexico. Tulum is the spot. It's the house. It's the La Casa.
He's smiling.
And yeah, man, it's an amazing place. But I love Tulum. That's where I am right now, Tulum, Mexico.
No doubt, no doubt.
Yeah.
What made you relocate?
Man, several things. Where should I start? I've been traveling for a while, so I wanted to see something different. I lived in Texas, in Houston. Shout out to H-Town for holding me down. But I was there for a while, and then I never went to Mexico, man. I was in Texas all those years and didn't know that much about Mexico. And, you know, I wanted to get a spiritual connection. That's why I was thinking about Bali and Indonesia. And then, you know, Saloon popped up on my radar, called to me, and I just ended up moving out there. So I just packed my bags up and headed to Saloon.
No doubt. I mean, explain, like, what do you do for a living? Like,
Cool. So my backstory is I was a film director. I owned a public relations firm, and from those two categories in business, I created a brand, a name. I had the option of either going the PR route or the film route. I love film, so I stayed in that and created a production company, which I was shooting, basically around the world, which I was honored to do. And from there, I got to the point where I was like, I love film, but I want to do a little bit more, because I ended up being behind the scenes and then going into like the meetings for the shoots and stuff like that. So I got bored of that, honestly. I'm a creative person. And from there, I was like, you know what? I got to find what I like. I love traveling and I love making people happy. So I decided to create a company called The Tribe Saloon. Man. And it's The Tribe, and right now we reside in Saloon.
Wow, man. Now,
Yeah.
everybody in Atlanta, as well as Houston, people all over the place, online, everybody defines you as the melanin traveler. Like, as far as...
That's true. I take it though now. I take it down. Yeah, I take it down.
We've been following you for a long time, and like, you all over the world. You've lived out of the States almost as long as you've lived in the States. What is it about the States that made you want to step away from the States or unplug? And what is it about being outside of the States that makes you not want to come back, quite honestly, because you never here?
Good question. So one, I've been in the States more than I've been, abroad, but I lived abroad throughout basically from, elementary school all the way to college, which is true, basically a true statement. But for me, it was always about quality of life for me. I had to argue with my mother about this. Basically, people don't know how great it is in other countries because they haven't experienced it. And I mean, going on vacation is one thing, but having the opportunity to stay somewhere for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month, you really get a chance to learn some things about yourself, about your country, what could be better, what could be worse. But I saw that at an early age, and that kind of opened my mind up to traveling and, trying to stay in places longer to get those experiences. America is a great country. I'm not going to knock it for that. You can come here and become anything that you want, build a dynasty. The only issue is that I just want to be able to walk down the street, without something happening to me. I think that I told one of my friends in Germany, I was like, yo, they asked me, they were saying, hey, what's the conflict between the black people in America and all of these things? They were trying to understand the psyche, right? And I just told them, I was like, just imagine you get in your car, or I get in my car, and I have to worry about, you know, if I get pulled over by the police going to the grocery store, I have a 50-50 chance of either getting killed or surviving this situation, you know. So that's anxiety, and they were like, that's a war zone, you know. They were like, you live in a war zone. And I was like, yeah, you know, and people, they say yes to that. I just decided not to. I just want to be comfortable when I leave the house, and, you know, feel like I don't need anybody watching me or making me think that I'm less than. So yeah, that's why really it's about the quality of life for me that's the number one. And then you have the capital, your money stretches longer. You know, it's really cultures are beautiful. You know, like people don't understand Brazilian, Colombian, Venezuelan, Indonesian. Just imagine being on the beach with these people, or in a room with, you know, people from those places, how magical that is. And that's another reason why I really enjoy, you know, what I do.
No doubt. I mean, I don't like to talk in color, but just being specific. As a brother, how are you treated outside of the States? Because, you know, we were given a lot of propaganda as to, like, this is the best place in the world. Like, you can't leave here. They're not gonna mess with you. And they're starving out there. We're the best. What did you learn from out there?
You know, when you're first of all, if you're a black man and you coming from America, so you're considered to be a black American, you're put on a very high pedestal. That's just one thing. That just imagine your most elite Caucasian or Asian wealthy child. Parents have the contacts and the connections, right? And you're like, my son wants to, you know, become a doctor, right? Your dad's a doctor and grandfather's a doctor. You have the connections to the medical field. People treat you a certain way when you walk into, you know, the medical field, or you go to medical college, or you walk the streets of your neighborhood. That's how it feels to be a black man outside of the United States. I have that privilege. I'm privileged. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I know that, and they know that. So I get treated differently. And I'm not privileged because of anything that they would kind of pinpoint. But I'm American. I'm a survivor. If I can make it to have the option to go travel, you know, to option to have a passport to go to Belize, or to go to, you know, Frankfurt, or to go to these countries, they're like, wow, how is this black man able to afford this? And it's because I've done the damn thing, you know, like, that's why I'm able to do it. And then everybody else could do the same thing, you know, it's not that much. So it's just one of those things. I was treated very well. The women are great. They treat you well, you know, like, I mean, I'm trying to be like transparent so people can understand, like, I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. As a black man traveling abroad, like, yes, you get treated differently than I guess if you were in the States. I don't know. I guess I get treated better, but I get treated well in the States as well. But I think that for anybody going abroad that's a black man, they put you on a very high pedestal. And when black men get that feeling, they never want to leave it. You know what I'm saying? Like, just imagine being free. You're like, oh, this is what it feels like to be free. And then you're like, why would I go back to slavery? You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense. So that's all. That was a rough one, slavery, but you call it what you like.
Yeah, I mean, so it's the energy, the energy of the women out there, and just the people in general.
Yeah, and it's not even about sexually. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you can meet. I have great women friends that are just solid, beautiful, but friends. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, oh, this is what we do in our culture that makes me a better man. You know, like, I'm learning that. You know, I remember I went to Ethiopia, and for the first time, I was just, you know, eating and stuff like that, and one of the women that was showing me around, she just started to feed me, you know, and I was like, whoa, you know, like, because, you know, somebody feeding you food is kind of like, you know, this gotta be the lady for some time, you know. Yeah. But she just met me that day, and she was feeding me. That's their culture, you know. It's just like, it's that's what it is. So it's just those amazing experiences make you a better man and make you more appreciative, and then you understand your importance of being a black man, you know. So
name the places you've been to, because you've traveled around the world. We've been trying to get this interview for like 2 years, man.
You know, I've been to I gotta go through I've been to Germany, I've been to France, I've been to I've been to Emirates, the United Emirates, which is like Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Italy. I've been to Rome. Oh my bad, I've been to Rome. Italy. Oh, I'm talking low. Sorry. Let me go. I've been to. So I've been to Germany. I've been to the United Emirates. I've been to Colombia. I've been to Mexico. I've been to West Indies, like Turks and Caicos. I'm trying to think, man. It's so hard. I've been to I've been to Kenya, Ethiopia, South Africa. So I've had my fair share. I have not touched as much as the Asian countries as some of my friends, some of my peers. But I think Asia will be next in regards to testing that out and seeing what it's like.
Okay. What makes your life journey unique or different from others?
For me, I think it's man, good question. What makes it? I mean, I created my own story. That's what makes it unique. I think that when I look back at my life, I just did what I thought was best, and some things I just did outside of the box. I'm the only child, so I felt like maybe that had something to do with it. I traveled a lot as a child. My dad was in the Army. Maybe that had something to do with it. But my story is unique because I made a choice, and I just made a choice to feel good. I think that we've all had our elements of success, and we have the money, and we have the clout and all of those things. And yeah, does it really feel good? It's like one of those things to where it's like, you got the leverage, but you have to do something for that leverage. And man, I'm just happy that I created my own path. Hopefully other young black men will travel and see that story, and then they would decide to join that journey. And I'm not saying that you got to leave the United States. Like I had an argument with somebody about that. Just see what's out there, see the rest of the world, and come back here and make $1 million business. Invest in some things that you wouldn't invest in that these other cultures are investing in, so when they see you at these board meetings, they're like, oh, wait a minute, how did you know about that? Because I traveled to goddamn Vietnam, and I found out that they're giving away stocks for, it's just, these things because you travel in the globe. So that's basically one of the reasons why I feel like it's unique.
Wow. I mean, definitely on top of just from what I've heard, I asked 10 different people about you and what about what you have going on, and I get 10 different businesses out here, 10 different countries out here.
Yes.
You're all over. Like, no, he's in Africa. No, he's in Europe. No, he's here. And that's always been intriguing. I've watched you online and some of the places.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it.
In Mexico and Saloon, I always see like you and your yacht business and things like your travel business. So what do you welcome tourists that come in?
Yeah, good question. So my company's called The Tribe. Right now we're at The Tribe Saloon because we're located in Saloon. We're a concierge firm. Basically, our focus is to bring in people from all around the world, which we do. Some celebrities, some large groups, some people who want to be private about their travel experiences. And we give them an experience of a lifetime in Saloon. And we do have helicopters, transports, and shuttles, yachts that we go out pretty consistently. Private dinners, beach club access, private beaches access. If you name it, we got it. So if it's in Saloon, it's there, we got it. If we don't, we'll go get it. And I think that was just a very, very simple, basic strategy. I was like, I'm sitting during COVID, and I'm like, man, what can I do? I think everybody was asking themselves the same question, like, what's happening? Like, what's happening? In my mind, as a traveler, I'm like, well, let's test out the waters and see what's up. And I'm like, I want to make people. I was trying to find, that thing like, I want to be strategic and mathematic about getting to my goal. And I was like, what's so simple than making people happy? Like that's simple. Travel and happiness, that's a business. And it didn't start that way. That was not my philosophy, but that's how it ended up being. And I started out that business by just having one event in Saloon. It was called Tribal Thursdays, and we started that Afro beats thing there. You couldn't get an Afro beat drum, nothing there, And I mean, I'm not saying that in a disrespectful way because they're drumming there because that's the culture. But I mean, in regards to like the Afro beat sound, the hip hop sound, just the culture of mixing fusions from all over the world. We really brought it to Saloon, and it started from there, and then it turned into a business. And I'm proud to say we almost have a year in, and yeah, that's it. That's rocking. That's rocking.
You've done a lot in this year, man.
Yeah.
I see you all over socials, other people's socials.
I appreciate it.
All the rappers in Atlanta, every rapper in Atlanta, you're the go-to when they're trying to come to Mexico. It's crazy.
I need everybody to come there. Everybody to come there. If they can pull up, then but everybody has been coming from Atlanta. It's a lot of celebrities that have been coming from Atlanta, from Miami, LA. LA's big, New York. And then you know what's so crazy? You start having a lot of international people coming from Sweden. Man, I got a lot of people from Sweden, a lot of people from Germany, a lot of people from France. So man, it's a good mixture right now, you know. If you can make it out.
That's crazy. So I mean, what's your Facebook, what's your handles where they can get a hold of you?
So the Tribe Saloon is the company. You can get us on IG. Basically, it's the Tribe Saloon on all social media platforms, and also the tribesaloon.com. And you can contact me, Ryan RDS. What is it, Ryan D Small at that's an Instagram, and you know, see what's up with my life. Yeah, follow me. Take this journey with the boy.
No doubt, we're gonna put all the information in the description below. Definitely.
Cool.
All right, here we go. What was the worst thing that ever happened to you in your life?
Man, the worst thing that ever happened to me was not believing in myself, man. I think that I've had ups and downs, trials and tribulations, but the worst thing that you can possibly do to kill anything that you have going on in your life is not to believe in yourself. And I think that's when my life took a bad turn.
Wow, that was real. Okay. All right, what's the greatest accomplishment in your life?
Believing in myself. No. Believing in
next 10 questions. I'm like, somebody gave him the drop.
Yeah, man. Nah, believing in myself. I mean, that is it, man. You know, all of these public speakers and all of these, you know, people that we listen to, that, you know, that want to be motivational speakers, all they're saying is something very simple. You believe in it, you can achieve it. It's, you know, believe in yourself. And it's so crazy because, like I said, a year ago, I was just sitting in the house in Jersey, in this big house in Jersey, trying to figure things out. And I'm like, oh, you know, I'm not believing in myself right now because I don't think anybody was around that time. But we was all doing the same thing. But at the same time, I'm like, you know, I can do this. You know, I can handle this. And then look what happened a year later about manifestation and believing in yourself. You know,
that's real. Yeah. What was the biggest lie ever told or taught to you in your life?
Man.
Told or taught.
You try to get me.
Society, you know.
Man, the biggest lie ever told to me. I think I think the biggest lie that was told to me was that I had to play the game. The biggest lie that was told to me was that I had to play the game, or basically play the system, or be in the system, or accept the system. And that was just the biggest lie. I think that a lot of us went through college and you know, we wanted to do the corporate route, or we wanted to go, like, we can do that as a decision, but it's not something that we have to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, come on, you know, that's my only thing. And I feel like if that lie is told to you, then how many other lies are told to you? So, you know, and these things are not just talked about, they're also written, you know, so it's like, you know, you got to just do the information for yourself. That's why traveling is so important. So you get a chance to see what existed, what didn't exist, what's real, what's not real, how people really moved around, because you went to those places and got that information directly. So I think that was, you know, I hope that answered the question.
That's great. I mean, real. What was the biggest lie you ever told?
Man, that's a good question. The biggest lie.
You can go birth to now.
The biggest lie I ever told? I don't even know. And that's not because I lie all the time. That's just because I know. That's an interesting one, though. That's a very good question. What's the biggest lie I ever told?
Or have you always been direct and that's never been a part of your game plan?
Probably it. That's probably never. Oh man, I don't tell big lies. I'll tell like a small, like a lie that don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, that's, I feel like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, did you take the cookies out that shit? And I'm like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Like, the cookies definitely not in there. You know what I'm saying? It's like that type. I've never done any like monster. I don't know. I don't think I've ever done like a monster lie. I just think I committed maybe a small couple light lies. We're human beings. I'm telling the truth now. I'm telling the truth now.
Where are you in your life versus where you thought you'd be at 18?
Man, these are good questions. I think I'm exactly where I thought I would be. But Yeah, again, at 18, I really didn't know anything. Like, I didn't really think about 28. At 18, did you?
Nah.
So it's one of those things to where I think that I always knew that I had a knack for traveling. I always knew that I was always someone on the go. So I think that I saw that in the future, but I also kept my 18-year-old self, with me, like I just felt like I always I'm not an 18-year-old in regards to like immaturity, but I like that energy of like sometimes like when you were 18, like you go to a new restaurant like in Buckhead and you be like, oh, this is lit, oh, like, ooh, that's the feeling that I want to always have. I don't want to go to all of these beautiful places around the world and I go to this beach and I'm like, ugh, like, okay, what I'm saying, the sand is not as white as like it just doesn't make sense. So I try to keep that energy, but I think I'm in the place that I thought that I would be. Everybody think they'll have more money, but then I feel like I've had $1 million experiences, so it's just one of those things to where like I'm happy and blessed to where I'm at right now.
No doubt. What's the best advice you've ever received in your life? And from who, if you recall?
Man, the best advice I think was probably from my grandfather. He was basically telling me it was simple. It was just read. I hated reading, I hated reading. It was just one of those things to where I didn't like reading. I didn't like reading in front of anybody. I didn't like reading at all, And then as I got older, I just had a better appreciation for it because really, man, like to this day, even with the videos that we do and all of that stuff, like it's not the same, man. All that stuff that's written down is all the information. So that's why, let's just go back to slavery. Slavery was like, you couldn't read a book. Why? Because if you read a book, you'd be like, wait a minute, something not right here. Like this, wait a minute, you could tell me that if I go 100 miles, I could be free. Like those type of things is in a book. And, books opened up my life. They gave me a lot of knowledge about places that I didn't know, spirituality, religion, dating, all of those things were in books, man. So I really, I'm appreciative of him telling me that because I actually read a couple extra paragraphs and that saved me a business deal. A couple paragraphs, saved, my relationships at times. It was just, that's what it was, yeah.
Wow, that's solid. What is your biggest fear?
Man, I think my biggest fear is success. I think that,
really?
Yeah, man. My biggest fear of success is because of the responsibility that comes with it. I think a lot of people don't, know that. So that's fearful, and that's why I'm attacking my fears every day, So, responsibility in that success is just something that you have to be responsible for, So everybody want to be a rock star, but they don't want to take the responsibility of being a rock star. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's just the truth.
Well, it comes with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is one of the questions that we do, but it's kind of hard to ask you this because there's nowhere in the world that you haven't been, it seems. But if you could travel anywhere in the world, all expense paid, for 30 days with no phone, no internet, no communication of any kind, where would that be and why?
North Egypt.
Really?
I would go North Egypt. I want to know the story. I want to know the real story about. I want to know the real story, just about how powerful that place is. I'm very, very much into spirituality. From everything that I've read, Egypt was Kemet was a very, very important place. A lot of the stuff that we symbolize and that we glorify to this day comes from those lands. So I would love to be there with no connection to society and see for myself what these pyramids and what these hieroglyphics and all of these things have to say. I can't read hieroglyphic, but you know what I mean.
All right, let's have a little fun with it.
What's happening?
What's your favorite movie and why?
Damn, man. Oh, okay. All right. It changes, bro. It changes. My favorite movie, War Dogs.
War Dogs?
War Dogs. Yeah, I never seen War Dogs. You gotta watch War Dogs. Yeah, I'm telling you right now. Wow. I'm not getting paid for that sponsorship. But so it's about these two guys that are young, man. They like maybe 21, 23. And they end up making a multi-million-dollar gun company. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
They
man.
fraud out the government of like out of like a $50 million contract. They start off by selling like one gun, and from there they become these international gun sellers, man. And it's a dope story. They was only 20, 21, and 23.
It would
Yeah.
be some millionaire move kind of movie.
Hey man,
Some
it's amazing.
entrepreneurship with you,
Hey man, you learn a lot in that movie. You learn a lot.
Favorite song, favorite artist, and why?
Favorite song, favorite artist, and why? Favorite song, man. Right now, he's my favorite artist. Right now, I like Drake.
Yeah,
I like Drake. Only reason why is because
2 years of dominance.
but also like a lot of stuff that he talks about I can relate currently right now. So it's like I have stages of my favorite artist. You know what I'm saying? Right now he's my favorite artist. And he has a song called like I'm Disturbed or something like that, or Disturbed or something like that. I can't remember the name of the title of it. I think it's I'm Disturbed. I remember it's the album with, I think his dad is on it, you know. I think it's the last track actually on that album. But he was just basically talking about, you know, basically stepping on the gas and going to the next level, you know, and understanding who he is and what he wants. And the crazy thing about it, Drake, you know, he manifests what he wants in his raps. You know, if you listen to his early albums to what he has now, is basically what he was talking about the whole time. So that story and that rap inspires me. So I kind of mess with that.
No doubt. Provide us with the physical and spiritual description of your ideal companion. Ain't trying to get you jammed up.
Oh, I'm not. I'm cool. I'm good. I'm not gonna get jammed up. For me, spiritually, I like anybody that's just spiritually connected. I don't really care for the whole like traditional religious aspects of dating. That's kind of like a gap. So normally, women that's great. Some are amazing and open-minded, but some aren't. You know. So for me, it's just about a spiritual connection. Man, in regards to the structure of a woman, you know, like I really don't have any. Cause is that the question, right? Yeah, you said, for me, cause I think that when you start to travel around a lot, you get so many different ethnicities and so many body types and things like that. So it's very, very hard to like pinpoint. I mean, curvy's always nice, you know, I think that, but then also like, you know, slim, thick is fine too. So it's like, you know, so it's, you know, that's just what it is. In regards to complexion, I mean, if you're beautiful, you know, I'm with it. So, that's just something that you learn also when you start getting that passport stamp. Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, but yeah, so that's that.
Okay. If you had to pick someone that you admire at the end of your life, who wouldn't you mind being compared to?
Damn, that's a good one, yo. Good one. I would say Richard Branson.
Really?
Richard Branson,
Why is that?
yeah. I feel like in regards to business, he's respected. I think that he's definitely understood branding and marketing and been a revolutionary in regards to breaking the rules of normal society. You know, I think that for the daredevil element of it, he just lives his life. You know, he's a guy jumping out of a plane. Of course, he's a white guy jumping out of a plane, or you know, sailing or doing all these things. But those are amazing accomplishments for himself. It's not really probably for the record books. It's just pushing himself to the limits, and I love to see that. And just in regards to his humanitarian work as well, you know, I think that when you're traveling the world like that, you know, and you have such an effect on the world, you should give back as much as you want to. So I'm trying to balance him between him and the Anthony Bourdain, you know. So it's just like, but the black version, you know, like, you know, and does it have to be a black version? Can it just be the version that I create? Yeah, that's what it is. But you know, to society, you know, they're always going to see that, you know, and then that's what it is, you know.
Yeah, we're all human beings. I get it. All right, last question.
Yeah.
What was the darkest time in your life, and how did you get through it?
The darkest time in my life was probably, I think it was after my divorce, man. I think that it was like 2015, 2017.
Everybody's standing here watching.
Yeah,
The
yeah. I
melody
was like,
child don't come into
I
town.
was like,
You don't come into
nah.
town often.
I was like, what was that? I couldn't even see the thing is all reflected. I was looking at myself, but I was like,
looking at you interviewing. I'm glad we have to back because we might come in and start trying to holler at you. Yeah.
What was the question again?
What was the darkest time in your life?
Yeah.
And how did you get through it?
I think the darkest time in my life was like 2015. I was going through a divorce at that time, but it wasn't the divorce that was the dark side of it. It was the like trying to transition to figure out that I didn't work in the system and I wasn't that type of person, you know, and I had to realize that also I wanted to know what I wanted to do. So I was kind of at that stage of my life, like I had success, I had all of these things. My partner that I'm doing it with, okay, you know, she's going to go her separate way, I'm going my separate way, but now what do you do? It's kind of like, what's the next step? How'd I get past it? I really just started taking one step at a time. I think that, you know, what makes me happy is the key. And, you know, again, traveling made me happy. As soon as I had the opportunity, I was in Kenya, you know, doing a film. From there, it just kept going and kept going and kept going. But I decided to manifest what I really wanted. You know, manifestation is high. And all you got to do is think about what you want only, and then that's what you're going to get, you know. So I thought about great things, and, you know, I started to receive great things, and that's how I got out of that.